Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On, and we've got an awesome video for you guys today where we're going to be taking a look at the 6 best first-person shooter games coming in 2017 that you're going to want to follow and get your hands on. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed. If you're a die-hard first-person shooter fan, then the first game in this list is probably going to make you go, wait, didn't that come out in like 2014? And the answer totally would be yes, but no, because the game has never been available on console. Insurgency Sandstorm is made by New World Interactive, who weren't even a studio when the original Insurgency first came out, and it is finally making its way to Xbox One. It's being ported from the original Half-Life 2 mod version into the Unreal Engine, so I can already see this game is going to look absolutely amazing. Now, for those of you that don't know much about Insurgency, it's not like the Call of Duties and the Battlefields of the world, which are a little bit more arcade-like with you being able to take loads of bullets before you're actually killed. Insurgency is far more realistic. You'll find yourself being taken down almost instantly if you run out in the open, and with no kill cams available, you won't be able to just run back and hunt that sniper down like you normally would. Games are 8v8 with each player taking on a particular role, similar in a way to Battlefield's Assault, Support, Medic and Scout classes. However, in Insurgency, there are a limited number of each role available for each team, so you're not going to have a whole team of players playing as snipers. This forces you to work as a team to be successful, with each player making sure that they're doing their role to the best of their ability, as someone won't be able to just switch over to another role if your demolition guy, for example, isn't doing their job properly and not blowing everything up. Another thing to definitely take note of is the level of immersion that New World Interactive have worked on trying to create with Insurgency Sandstorm, with the HUD being kept to the bare minimum to help you get really into the game. Sandstorm is also going to have a story mode, along with competitive matchmaking also being added into the game, which wasn't included in the original game on Steam, so it could quite possibly be the very first realistic first-person shooter to be seen in esports, if my personal experience is anything to go by. Next up, we have a game that is yet to have any official announcement at the time of making this video, in regards to release date, what the game's going to be about, or even the official name, but it's a game that I'm personally very excited about getting my hands onto, and that's the next installment in the Destiny franchise, Destiny 2. Now, since Destiny was released back in September 2014, we've had a yearly expansion with The Taken King and The Rise of Iron, each adding a ton of new content including weapons, strikes and raids, along with new maps to fight other Guardians on in the Crucible. But with no current announcements on Destiny 2, we can only speculate on what to expect. Activision recently said that Bungie are working to deliver a more accessible game for people who might want to have a more casual first-person experience, but without losing anything that the core fans love. They also said that we can expect a grand cinematic story with more focus on the cast of characters, which makes us wonder if Destiny 2 will have a slightly more epic story campaign for newcomers who maybe don't want to drill into the insanely deep endgame. However, what I'm sure we can say is that Bungie will have learnt a lot over the past couple of years to help them make Destiny 2 a true flagship game in the first-person shooter community, especially for players that are looking for something a little bit more with their multiplayer experience, which is something that I believe Bungie has always helped to deliver with their strikes and raids and huge amount of exotic gear and weapons to collect. It's an experience that no other AAA first-person shooter like Call of Duty and Battlefield can offer. So do make sure to let us know in the comments what you would like to see in Destiny 2, as I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say, as you always have some awesome ideas on what you would like and hope to see. The original Prey was one of my most memorable games on Xbox, being one of the very first games that I ever completed on the Xbox 360, but now we've got a brand new Prey game coming out in May. The game has been developed by Arkane Studios, who say they love making games that blend simulation and narration like Dishonored, and Prey is going to be another one of those games. The big thing with Prey is that Arkane want you to be able to play the way that you want to. You're going to be able to explore and go anywhere you feel like in the space station, though we'll obviously have certain objectives and missions that you'll need to complete. Though one of the coolest things about this game from what we've seen so far is the fact that aliens are able to camouflage themselves into anything they want. So that bin you just walk past could be an alien waiting to pounce on you and take you out, which is a little bit terrifying. Think Predator, but a predator that could be any object you can think of, anywhere. They can even hide in a nearby mug, so don't just drink anything you see. You also get a load of different abilities in the game, including alien abilities such as Mimic, so you can even change yourself into any object you find, like a mug to help you get into new places or to disguise yourself and go stealth mode. Another one of the big things with Prey is the fact that there are an absolute ton of ways to solve any problem you come across. Your answer is not always going to be go all guns blazing, because weapons in Prey are a lot rarer than you would expect in a first-person shooter. This is honestly one of the games on the top of my list for 2017, with so many terrifying enemies like the Nightmare, and with so many things to do like flying around, exploring in Zero G. I can't wait. One thing I think we can safely say is that recently Call of Duty hasn't been at its very best compared to the Modern Warfare days, and it's a franchise that has always been very close to my heart, but this year I think we can have one of the best Call of Duty games in years. Now, once again, at the time of making this video, there's been no announcement on what this year's Call of Duty is going to be or where it's set, though we do know that it is Sledgehammer Studios making the game, who did an absolutely incredible job with their very first Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. But now they've had 3 years to work on this year's installment, and there's just a few things that I honestly hope that they do. Firstly, hopefully the game goes back to being boots on the ground. You only have to look at Battlefield 1's success last year to understand this is something people are dying for. They don't want to be wall running and boost jumping all over the place. They want to have those intense, fast-paced games that you enjoyed back in Modern Warfare 3 that you could relate to. As we all have 2 legs, we don't have jetpacks, we don't have wall running abilities, we just want to be on the floor. I would also love for the game to be set in the past or the modern era, so we can have weapons that we recognize while also experiencing a piece of history in the story. Do make sure to let us know what you would like to see in this year's Call of Duty in the comments below. But one thing we can be sure of is that COD 2017 is going to be one of the biggest first-person shooters this year, and I can't wait to see what Sledgehammer do with their second ever Call of Duty. Now, this is a game that is going to be one of the first-person shooters available in 2017, and that's Get Even, coming out on May 26th. I was also very fortunate to have an early hands-on with this a couple of weeks ago to play a fair chunk of the game, and it's absolutely awesome. I have to say, it was a completely unique experience. It was a mix of first-person shooter action to solving puzzles like you would in a game like Portal. Throughout the game, during certain levels, you'll gain access to the corner gun, which surprisingly does exactly what you would expect and allow you to shoot around corners, allowing you to take out enemies from behind cover, but also be able to play stealthy if that's your sort of playstyle, though you can still go all guns blazing if that's what you feel like doing. And then at other times when you're not taking out enemies with your corner gun, you'll have to use gadgets on your phone to help solve puzzles and riddles, like figuring out a door code or following a heat signature to a certain location. You'll also need to think about every decision you make throughout the asylum, as it will have an effect on the gameplay, with the story being all about discovering how you ended up in the asylum and how the teenage girl at the start of the game ended up having a bomb attached to her chest, followed by the creepy guy on the TV called Red. I cannot wait to finish the game and unravel the story. It's got the perfect mix of first-person shooter action, puzzles, and twists and turns at every stage of the story. This is a game you're not going to want to miss out on, so make sure you give it a go. And finally, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. The reboot a couple of years ago was one of the games I was most excited about, as I used to live on this franchise way back on the original Xbox, and the reboot did not disappoint. Though it didn't have a single player campaign and was solely focused around the multiplayer experience, I think Battlefront 2 could be one of the best games for first-person shooter fans as well as Star Wars fans this year. Now, we've already been told by EA and DICE that the next Star Wars Battlefront will be even bigger, taking players into more locations and allow them to play with more heroes and characters across multiple Star Wars eras. There will be new ways to play, including an all-new single-player campaign and much, much more. Which, if I'm being completely honest, is pretty damn exciting. We're obviously going to be able to play through some of the areas set within the new film period, and hopefully get to play as some of the new heroes in Star Wars Episodes 7 and 8, which would be pretty damn cool. But personally, I can't wait, and as a huge fan of the films, and with DICE's obvious success with Battlefield 1 last year, which they'll have made some huge learnings from, I think we could have one of the most exciting and best games of the year set within the Star Wars universe. So there we have it, 6 of the best first-person shooters coming in 2017. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What ones are you most looking forward to? Drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video as well. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. And we'll see you guys next time.